Good morning, everyone. My name is Aaron Magee. I'm the VP of Sales and Marketing with LiveLink, and joining me today is John Reynolds, our Director of Client Relations. Hope you're all having a great Friday. The topic of today's webinar is generating business-to-business leads with social media. And we're going to go into a very high level kind of tools, tips, tricks. Again, very high level. I mean, we could probably spend weeks and weeks and weeks drilling down into the details here, what we can do with generating B2B social leads. But the goal today was just to kind of give you a flavor for what some of the things we've seen that are working. So it's easy, right? Create a company Facebook page and the world will be the path to your door, right? Maybe set up a LinkedIn page and wait for the leads to come rolling in. Well, today when I speak about generating business-to-business leads from social media, I'm not referring to creating pages or sharing content. I'm talking about leveraging that one-to-many power an individual possesses these days. It's pretty ridiculous, right? Think about it. Even if you guys are using Facebook, right? I mean, how many people do you have that have access to something that you post on Facebook? It's pretty powerful when you think about it. No, so when we're talking about individuals today, we're talking about in the business world, though, we're talking about your fellow employee. We want to answer the question, how can you leverage your employees' social networks? Okay, so in the worlds of Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and others, your employees have a channel of communication which is open to sometimes thousands of people. How do you tap into that free channel to grow your business? And we're not talking small numbers here. Imagine a small company where you're the marketing person and you've got a team of 7 people who are ready and willing to share your message with their network. If they each had a LinkedIn network of, 300 each, that's 2,100 potential viewers. And obviously the numbers go up from there. I mean, bust out your calculators if you want to play with it. With that goes the opportunity that those viewers will share or forward what they've seen or read if they feel it's valuable or interesting. Huge leverage, right? Okay, so you've got that. Now let's talk about beer. That's right, ice cold beer. So sometimes when I hear the term social media, to be honest, my eyes kind of roll back into my head. So I like to frame the power of social media in something I already understand. And that would be the way beer gets to consumers. In the world of beer, beer makes its way to the shelf by means of trucks from a distributor. The distributor has the one-to-many relationship with liquor and grocery stores. All it needs is something to distribute, right? Without the beer, though, they have nothing. Conversely, without the trucks, drivers, and retailers, the beer sits in a warehouse somewhere, never seeing the light of day. So let's talk about beer. As marketers, our message, or quote, the stuff we want people to know about our company or products, that's our beer, right? We have it on the shelf and the goal is getting it out to the world. Now, social media is by no means the only way to get out this message, but it's the one we're talking about today. So beer is our content. It's the information, it's the way we package our message. Trucks really are our distribution tools, right? It's the way we get our beer out there, the way we get our message out there. Drivers, if we want to think about it in this, carrying on this analogy, really drivers are the employees, right? They're our sales staff, our executives, our other marketing team members. I mean, they're the willing participants to get our message out. And then obviously our content has to be delivered by our employees to prospective customers. All of this then needs to be leveraged in a repeatable process. Right? So you've got content, you use some tools that your employees use to push it out to their social networks, and then you wash, rinse, repeat. And that's really, this is an outline of what we're going to talk about today. So the first thing you need is something to distribute, right? And the trend of today's business-to-business marketing is content, right? Blog posts, infographics, case studies, ebooks. Any kind of content is designed to attract readers and educate them on the industry, trends in your offering. So for the purpose of this webinar, I'm assuming you actually have your content already or can pull something together. But remember to think about the content you have and how you translate it to social. You can certainly push something out the world that says, hey, check out my new product, or view our blog post. I mean, maybe that could be a Facebook post, but the truth is getting someone's interest is key, and attracting their interest is key. What are you offering that will make a difference to a broad audience? What can you say to reel in a group of individuals and have them engage with you at some level, however small, right? Especially in this day and age, as you push little bits of information out to the world, you want to grab people's attention and have them come back to you and then engage with you in some form or fashion. So again, step one is get your content together. Now let's talk about tools to get the word out. You've got something to say. You want employees to say it via their social media channels. So when we talk about tools, I'm actually talking about things that will enable your employees to push out the message you craft. Okay. Now, again, if you guys go online and do a Google search for, best ways to craft a Twitter message, best ways to craft a Facebook post, or the best way to push information out on LinkedIn, there's tons of articles that show you how to link it, how many words to use, all that stuff. I'm not going to get into that today. I'm really just talking about content plus distribution and ultimately collecting the results of distributing your content. So first I'm going to start with email. Email is actually a very effective tool you can use to engage your fellow employees to take action on their social networks. The other cool thing that I like, it's free and it's easy. But be careful, right? Don't just blast out a note to all@company.com and say, hey, share this, share the new product announcement on LinkedIn or tweet this. I mean, some people may engage, but our experience in talking to marketers is that you'll be met with low adoption. So there are ways on 3 social networks you can clearly communicate to your employees on what to say and make it easy for them to take action. So the whole idea behind this concept of how do we make it simple and how do we reduce the number of clicks? So in this particular example, Facebook, if you take a look at this URL that's on the screen right now and you see that www.yourlandingpage.com, if you were to replace that with one of your landing pages or the URL where they can find a press release, and you emailed that link, that new link out to your employees and said, hey, click this and write something about our press release or our new product announcement or our new hire. When somebody clicks on that, they're actually going to see in their browser something that looks like what I've got on the screen below, right? So you're actually taking them one step further to actually getting to Facebook and sharing a link. The only thing you need to accompany this URL would be some bit of text to say, hey, click on this link, write this text in the box, the text box, and then click the share link button and you're off. So this is a very simple way that using email, you can just get engagement from your employees. All right, let's talk about Twitter. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail about Twitter, but there is a free tool out there called Click to Tweet that enables you to do something similar to what I just described with Facebook, but do it on Twitter. All right, so you can go to clicktotweet.com, fill out some information. It'll produce essentially a clickable URL that you can mail out to your company that'll make it easy for them to just in a few clicks tweet stuff out to their Twitter followers. Okay, let's talk about LinkedIn. Similar to the Facebook example, LinkedIn works very much the same way. You see there at the bottom that www.yourlandingpage.com. If you take that specific URL that you see on the screen and you eliminate the www.yourlandingpage.com and put that into, put in your press release link, a link to your white paper, etc., you can push that out to your employees. And once again, if they click that link, they'll see something like this in their browser. So once again, you can accompany that link with say, hey, please include these comments with your post, click the share button. And again, you've made it easy and simple for people to engage. So email is a distribution tool. HubSpot. HubSpot does a great job of making it easy for marketers to actually centralize their social outreach. So in that one slide I had back to talk about 7 individuals that each had 300 followers on LinkedIn, they could hand marketing their credentials for Facebook, Twitter, or LinkedIn, and marketing can post to their accounts and groups at will. So this is something I think that's really cool that HubSpot has. And I know there are other tools out there that do this, but ultimately, if you can get your employees to hand you their credentials, you can essentially post on their behalf for them. So talk about making it easy, right? It's just as simple as come up with some content, post it out there, and done. That's simple. So HubSpot starts at $200 a month, so there is a cost, but the point is, if you're able to get permission from your employees, you're empowered to do your thing, leverage their networks without even having to involve them. So that's HubSpot. So again, I know there are other tools out there that do this. We're actually a fan of HubSpot. We use it internally at our company. Now, while we're on the topic of HubSpot, there's some interesting stat that I found that these guys have gathered. Because they link to Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, they've got an interesting stat about the effectiveness of lead gen, business to business lead gen, on what network is most effective. And it's actually LinkedIn. So again, a good stat for you guys to take and put in a presentation. HubSpot says that 277% more effective for lead gen. So LinkedIn is actually 277% more effective for lead gen than Facebook and Twitter. So just wanted to share that. Very interesting stat. Okay, so here's where we plug our solution, right? So at LiveLink, we actually build a mobile tool to do some of the social sharing. It consists of a web-based portal that marketing can use to upload content and script out Twitter and LinkedIn posts. And with a few clicks, marketing can publish content out to a mobile app used by employees. So anyone in the company using that app, if they're granted permission, is able to post with a few taps on their phones. So here's the experience, right? Marketing publishes out content. In this example, you can see a list of 3 things. Employees pick a piece of content, they click on it. Then they're given the option to post it to LinkedIn, which they click on. And then the LinkedIn post is already scripted for them. So all they do is they click the share it button and it's shared on LinkedIn as if it were coming from them. Now, obviously, we're biased to this approach because, one, we came up with it, but also it puts employees in control, and it also appeals to field salespeople who are buried in email. And we've also made our solution free to use forever for up to 10 users. So if you've got a small company or even a small group of people within a big company and you just want to start using it, our solution can help you guys get started for free. Okay. Now, we've talked about distribution tools, we've talked about content. Now it's about employees, right? They're the key to making things happen, right? They're busy. Now, if anybody on the phone is actually selling and doing business through channel partners, you get this more than anybody, right? Because everybody's doing the things that they're all supposed to be doing. And here you are saying, hey, do something for me. Take action for me. Well, so what's the secret? Well, as we all know, there are no silver bullets, but there are a couple proven techniques that we've seen work. So the one, I have to say it, make it easy. And the examples that I've shown, I think we really tried to stress, how do we make it easy? So notice the tools that I told you about were designed to eliminate clicks and time on behalf of your, quote, publishers. You could just email the whole company and tell them, hey, share this on social media. But scripting things out for them and reducing the number of clicks and brain cycles is key to getting things to happen. And any of you in marketing that have taken the time and effort of crafting a detailed email to the sales team with instructions, I've done it, right? And I'm a sales guy, so I've seen it on both ends. But you've seen it. You've seen the process slow down when you basically say, "Okay, sales team, I need you guys to do these 5 things," and one of them happens, right? Especially if you don't make things as simple as possible. So again, I'm not knocking on salespeople. I just know that they're busy. They're trying to make a number, and sometimes they don't read all their emails. So just make it easy. The other thing too is make it a game. Now, I'm not going to talk about gamification, but really some of those concepts apply, right? Make it competitive. We all know what gets measured gets improved. So our suggestion is measure the most active share and use your company's email distribution list as your platform to tell the rest of the company about it, right? Notoriety has power. Use it. I mean, hand out cheap prizes for new participants that log on and start sharing. Share any results that have positively impacted the business as a result of individual participation. And really paint the picture of how more participants can create more of the same impact. I mean, make sure the CEO is a participant and a proponent. And then two, I mean, a couple of emails a week consistently from you will get people's attention. And it'll drive home the point that something is here to stay. So my suggestion is commit to yourself that you'll pick some approach for a quarter. I mean, anybody can do something for 12 weeks. And if you did 2 emails per week out to your company talking about what happened as a result of you sharing or your employees sharing, and we're talking about 24 emails throughout the quarter. I mean, if it takes you 5 minutes per email, I mean, you spent 2 hours over the course of the quarter growing a free marketing channel for your company. I don't think anybody's going to tell you that that wasn't time well spent. And again, when I'm talking about these emails, I'm talking about not the posts themselves, but promoting the process and recognizing people for contributing. Okay, so make it easy and make it a game. That's how you engage employees, and that's what we've seen work. And as funny as it is, you could probably apply these to other aspects in life too. So, all right, so let's check in and see where we are. So we have our content, the stuff we want to send to the world. We have our tools to get it out there. We have willing participants to help. And granted, not everybody's going to be willing on day one. It's a process, but over time, we obviously hope to get more and more and more, and it'll build. Now it's time to measure and get some leads. All right, so off to measuring and gathering. So to measure and gather, I'm going to talk about 2 tools. Now, we don't have relationships with either of these companies, but I've used them both personally, and they're easy to use, and best of all, they're free. So here we go. When you share something on social media, you need to direct your audience to a landing page. Many of you know this already. Many of you actually already may have a landing page system set up. Like if you're using HubSpot or Acton or other vendors, Marketo, Pardot, and you've got these landing page tools already built into your system, so you can whip one up, no problem. But if you don't, Unbounce is a way that anybody without IT involvement can put together a landing page, right? So ultimately what we're trying to create here is some destination on the web where the people that see these posts on social media can go to get the content they desire. Now, you'll also want to provide a mechanism so they can enter their email address, which is the end game here, right? The whole end game here is putting content out there, providing value, and in exchange, harvesting email addresses so that you can nurture and share content in the future with these people more easily. You also want to find out how many people visited this particular landing page so you can get evidence about how is it working, right? So Unbounce is a great tool to do this. So as I mentioned, it is free, but I did see they have a $99 version, which actually allows you to dump email addresses right into Salesforce if you're a Salesforce user. So that's pretty cool. Otherwise, I think it just puts it into like a CSV file or an Excel file as you collect emails. Okay. So just as an example of a landing page, here's one that we put together using Unbounce. So what we did here is created a simple landing page actually for some individual sales reps where they can publish stuff out to their networks. Anybody who follows the link hits this landing page, sees the face of the person that they recognize. They can download the ebook that they've shared and also enter in some information if they wanted a demo. So again, this is to give you guys some ideas on what to do, how to do, and what the process is. And again, we created this using Unbounce. And trust me, the last time I saw HTML was when I was in college, and I think that was HTML 1.0. So it's super simple to do. Okay, now let's talk about measuring clicks. I'm a huge fan of Bitly. It's free, and it performs 2 important tasks. It shortens long URLs of your landing page into something that is Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn friendly. And it provides statistics on how many people clicked from where, etc. So I actually used a Bitly link for you guys when you register for the webinar. And this just shows you like this, it's super simple, but it's very, very valuable. It showed me, okay, how many people clicked and followed the webinar registration form, and it just gave me a really good idea on what kind of activity level I had. And you can see it's super simple to use. And right there at the top, it says, paste a long URL here to shorten. You fill that in, you click a button, and it generates a really short URL. So super short and easy to use. Okay, so here's some closing thoughts. So we walked you guys through content, right? Get your content, find some tools that make it easy for your employees to use and share. Then engage your employees, and then ultimately, create those landing pages that prospects are going to go to, where they're going to enter their email, or even just give you some idea that they're going there and viewing your content and consuming it. You've got tracking tools like Bitly that are making it easy for you to come up with some statistics and actually sit there in the next Monday meeting and say, yeah, hey, this is how we did. So I really encourage you, again, because we didn't go into a ton of detail, take all these steps and refine them for yourself. As I mentioned at the beginning of the webinar, you can go right now onto various sites and find, I found the other day 130 slide presentation that you can just thumb through, and it gives you hints on how to craft the perfect Twitter post and the way to post something on LinkedIn and what colors to use, right? Refine these to the level you want them to. The other thing too is make it a weekly process you execute. The only way that you're going to build up momentum is if you have a consistent approach to pushing something out on social media. And to me, the easiest way to start is commit to just doing something once per week. And it doesn't need to be fancy, right? It could literally just be a mention. Even if it wasn't a landing page, just push something out and get the employees to participate. So I'm a huge fan of trying to get your rickety engine kind of cranking along and sputtering along, and over time, it's just going to get more and more efficient and more smooth, and it's going to run like a finely tuned machine. And that's why you experiment, test, and measure, right? Try things, test things, measure things with Bitly and Unbounds and other tools, and just see what's working for you. So that's it for today. I kept it to 30 minutes, which is great. Gives everybody time to buzz out. And if you guys have any questions whatsoever, we're still learning all the things that there is to learn about social media, but certainly feel free to drop me or John an email. Tell us, we'd love to hear also, what'd you think? Was this too elementary for you? Was this too high level? Did you want to hear something else? Did you expect to hear something else? Be honest. We won't be offended, trust me. Our goal here is trying to come up with content that's valuable for folks. So I've got time for questions. So I am going to, I see Lisa has her hand up. So Lisa, I'm going to unmute you. Go ahead and ask away, Lisa. Lisa Fisher, you there?
Yes, I am.
Oh, I saw you had your hand up. Did you have a question?
Yeah.
What was your question? Okay. Anybody else, you can type your questions in the question box and I can answer them for you. Martin wants to hear a little bit more about our system, the LiveLink system used through indirect sales teams. So Martin, to your question, the free product, again, it's limited only by the number of users. And after that, there's a per user per month fee. But the way that we're pricing it for indirect channel partners is we're only charging you for your internal team. Partner users can use it free of charge. So if you've got 5 people using it internally, but you've got 200 partner reps using this thing to access your content and collateral and share stuff on LinkedIn and email it out to prospects, it's something we can set up for you and that they can use totally free of charge. And it works just the same as you saw. It's not actually branded to your company, but it would be a LiveLink branded app that they use and log into, and they would be able to get access to the content that you publish.
All right. Let me talk a little bit more then about what the real question is.
Yeah, sure.
It's not so much about how much it costs from you guys, that's fine. I mean, I kind of know some of your pricing already, and that's cool. It's more to do with how I can go out and influence my own sales force. But when I talk about sales channels and indirect sales channels, trying to get them to participate, have you seen any experience of that?
You know, using with I haven't, to be honest with you. I mean, certainly the same rules apply with employees as far as making it easy, right? I mean, let's be honest. The harder it is, the less adoption you're going to get, right? So I know that's obvious. So anything you can do to reduce clicks is great. I do know that channel partners actually like their vendors making them look good, right? I mean, who doesn't want to look good to their social network, right? Look like they're a thought leader. So I know from talking with channel partner sales reps that they really are hungry for this kind of activity. But again, they say that, but ultimately on the flip side, they need an easy way to engage with you. So I guess, you know, when you talk about our system or talk about our, you know, the presentation I gave today, I'm using those same distribution tools. I mean, HubSpot wouldn't work because you'd have to go get your channel partners' credentials, but using things like email, I mean, if you literally had a weekly newsletter that went out to your channel partners, could include some of those links, you know, that might be a way for them to just, you know, they're on their mobile device, say, oh, here's a link, they click, you know, they're out sitting in line in Starbucks, and they within 30 seconds they can post something, and you know, off they go. You know, and conversely with our system, right? I mean, they can view content on their mobile device, and with a couple clicks, they post it to LinkedIn, and it appears it's coming from them, and you've done all the work for them. So, am I narrowing in on what you're looking for?
Yep, that's fine. It's more just about how you know, just experiences of taking this out beyond your direct company. That was all.
Oh, got it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's one of the things that we've heard, right, from channel marketers is that, you know, emails, the open rate of emails to their channel partner reps is so low. I mean, you know, we're talking, you know, single digit percentages, if not, you know, with a dot in front. So using email as a vehicle is still cheap and effective, and it's probably meaning it's the most effective thing you've got, unless there are some other creative ways. But you know, we just haven't. We've talked to a lot of people that say, Aaron, that's my biggest problem I want to solve is I'm trying to figure out how to communicate with these reps in a way to get them to do stuff without having to use email because I've got such a crappy open rate. So yeah, Martin, I wish I had more information for you, but it's a toughie. So if anybody else has any other questions or even comments, please type them into the questions box there in GoToWebinar. Okay, well, no more questions. So thanks everybody for the time on a Friday. One thing again, I will ask if you're still on GoToWebinar, even if you don't have a question, I'd love for you just to type in some feedback, say, and again, it's open season on us right here. Like, Aaron, that was valuable, or Aaron, this thing didn't make sense. I mean, any kind of feedback you can provide, positive or negative, will help us improve this for the future. And thank you all for attending. Have a great Memorial Day weekend.
Happy Memorial Day, everybody.
All right, take care.